Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realnesss with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my co-host, Tamika Francis. How are you doing today, Tamika?
I'm good.
Good. Are you going to say something? I cut you off. Well, we are here today to talk about Love Island, Season 3 of the USA, Episode 9. We had a 2-hour episode last night, and we were saying that it wasn't not a crazy amount of things happened, but some things did happen. So I'm really excited to get into it because I have some opinions.
Same.
Opinion is, I'm going to ask of you, is what do you think about the recoupling, after the recoupling? So we know that Jeremy picks Amy, and Cash is picked by Isaiah, and Amy was upset, and Cash was like, if he can't appreciate you, you still have your friends, and kind of was like giving her some advice. And then Isaiah comes over to Cash, gives her a kiss in front of Amy, but it was like they're also newly coupled, and like just give a little kiss after you were coupled together. And Amy is fuming over this. What do you think about her reaction?
So first, the recoupling happened, and as I think we mentioned last show, that we believe that the guys have to and the girls have to, when they're doing the recoupling, tell the producers who they're going to choose. They might not tell each other or tell the person they're going to choose, but they do tell the producers, and then the producers line them up by the most way to make it editable.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely see the impact of that after this, because Amy kind of lost her shit by being picked up by Jeremy, and I was absolutely confused. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what? Like a day ago, it felt like you said that Jeremy had surpassed Isaiah at that point. So what happened? Just this one comment from Florida? And it didn't even seem like it fazed her when they talked about it right before the recoupling, when they were getting dressed. It just seemed like it happened and she moved on. So I was really confused by that, by her being upset that he chose her. And then I was very confused at her placing blame on Cash for what happened with the kiss and Isaiah, because she was talking to Cash, yes, but Isaiah came from behind, grabbed Cash, picked her up, and turned her around, and then leaned in for a kiss.
Yeah.
And so my whole thing was, what was Cash supposed to do? Right. Say, no, not here, don't kiss me right here. Like, I think he would have taken an offense to that, and she just recoupled with him, and they're a new romance, and he probably would have thought that she had been playing a game this entire time. Mm-hmm. I thought it was, first of all, I thought Amy's reaction was way out of nowhere. But I also felt like she was putting the blame on the wrong person.
She is just doing what all the other women were doing, in my opinion, is thinking that they are better than Cash, and she was upset that Cash got picked by somebody that she wanted as well. And
I said this. I said the same thing, and I'm like, I don't know if it's me, because I saw different opinions about it on Twitter, but I was like, I am confused. You chose Jeremy. Jeremy did the same exact thing to Trina, and you knew this because you were there. Then he now does the same thing to you, and now the person that you had as your backup chooses Cash first. Again, Cinco chose Cash first. Now Isaiah has chosen Cash first, and you all keep getting mad at Cash because she took your second option. That is not fair. Why are they not able to be happy for Cash when she's in a relationship?
Because they don't think that she's deserving of it, even though they pretend like they do.
That's what it feels like.
Netha was also confused by when Amy started crying. Like, what? It's just like it just, to me, it just showed how much she valued, like, or how proud she is of herself and how little she thinks of Cash and what Cash deserves. She just feels like she deserves to have more attention than Cash, be picked first, like all that stuff. I was really, really unhappy with Amy at least at this part of the episode. Hi guys. Hi CJ. Hello. Hi Realnesss. So Amy blew me with her ill feelings for Cash. Like, what was she supposed to do? Like, say, get off me, my friend is crying. Like, no.
No, like I really was trying to play it up because I saw a few people, but I think they're also Trina fans. But I saw a few people. There were some people who said, "Oh, I'm a Cash fan. I agree. I don't think she should have done that." And I was trying to play it out in my head exactly how she would have done it different. It's not like she was talking to Amy, because I've seen this happen where, somebody's talking to you, you see somebody else, and you like stop whatever you're doing to go grab the person to say hi or kiss. That's not what happened. Cash was not the person that instigated anything. Cash was grabbed from behind. She didn't even know who it was. It could have been anyone. And then she saw that it was her man, and she's like, and she explains later that in her head she's like, I need to start this off right, and I need to kiss my man. Yeah. I don't see what she did wrong.
Me neither. And Cash, I don't even think knew she was upset about Isaiah.
Right. And then that was the other thing. She got mad at Isaiah. And I watched it back and I was like looking at it and said, she ran down to Leanne and Roxy because they were still there telling everybody goodbye. It looked like she was crying because Leanne and Roxy were leaving. Yeah. And they were still there because I looked in the background. They were still there when she was still crying. And then he came up to her and tried to, say, are you okay? And she got mad at him. And I'm like, but I don't think he knows why you would be mad at him. Like, there's no reason for him to know why you would be mad at him. And for all anybody knows, you're still crying because Leanne and Roxy got kicked out of the house.
Exactly. She wasn't very articulate as to why she was upset, and for Cash to be like, oh my goodness, okay, I definitely might be more considerate of the fact that like you were upset that Isaiah didn't pick you. Okay, that's really like selfish. Okay, thanks, Amy. Hi, Anna. Anna says Wes is dangerous, like he's dangerously sexy.
I said when he was on the date. Was it the date with Cash or another point where he's talking? I think it was the date with Cash. I was like, "Ooh, this man could be a problem. He is fine. He is smart. Like he talks so intelligent. Like he's the only one that was like Cash. Like the Cash is beautiful first, and then he came and said her energy and her like to her face, and then he said her energy and her conversation and everything else." Like afterwards, but the first thing he said is like, I'm in front of the most beautiful scenery, 2 sceneries. Like he led with Cash's beauty. And even when he walked into the room and he opened the door and looked at Cash, and he was shocked like how beautiful, because she looked beautiful. She looked stunning with those earrings and the outfit. She looked stunning. So he like, you saw it on his face. He could be a problem.
He's a problem, and it's a problem I would like to have. I'm always like, I don't want to date a younger guy. If the younger guy looked and acted like him, I would be okay with him. Like, he's so good looking. Oh, just like if he smiled at me, I just melt. He's so handsome. Hi, TA. Oh my God. Yeah. So no, the Amy situation was a mess. Okay, Amy for sure is looking for Cash with jealous eyes. Yep. There was a literal scene on the couch where she looks up and down when their hashtag things go off, and she's trying to find why she's so special. Wow. Oh, Cash is so special, though. She's just so fun. Cash is stop apologizing to those girls. She does nothing wrong. I know. I think it's because she's on this show and she doesn't want to have any enemies. She really wants it to be a good experience, and she wants to make really good friendships. And she's a good person, and she's not used to necessarily having all this drama over men most likely in her life. Like she probably usually bows out and lets the white
person
girl,
take
whatever
over.
have the guy. She probably doesn't get involved in these things because she's just like, I don't want to be part of it. If you don't want to choose,
I don't think she has a fake bone in her body, and I don't think she wants to have to be fake to anybody. You know, she wants to have genuine connections to these people.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Ms. Love. So Ms. Love understands that Amy was in her feelings, but it was unfair to expect Cash not to respond to Isaiah when he came up to her and initiated the kiss. Exactly. It's so... See, whenever I look at situations, for the most part, I haven't been in a situation where I was emotionally heated in a while, so maybe I would be thinking irrationally then. But I always try to look at, like, where the other person's coming from, why they might be doing this. Like, I look for the benefit of the doubt, the silver lining. Like, I'm never looking for it to point the finger and be like, you're out to get me, you're making me feel bad, you're a bad friend because like you didn't know that I was crying right over here, and then you didn't even know why I was crying, but you should have just like not kissed your man because I was like, come on, Amy, come on. But that's probably you. Charlene, hello. So Charlene, I like the fact that Olivia didn't see it the way that she tried to explain it. Exactly, because Olivia's actually being a good friend here, being like, whoa, like she's like, I thought you were just kind of crying over like just the night.
Yeah. Yeah, Olivia was like, this was not the time or the place, but I'm trying to be here for Amy. I kind of understand where she's coming from with the Jeremy situation, but it's also like she's kind of taking it a little far.
Yes, definitely. Sorry, I'm reading this next comment. Hi, Shads. Vote Florida off, guys. LOL. This show's nice guys finished last. That's true. Poor Corey. Yes.
Was the Florida on purpose because she's from Florida, or you?
I think it's a dig. I think it's a dig because people are just like, I'm not saying Florida anymore. I'm saying Florida. People online anyway. So I think it was a dig. Oh, they take advantage of Cash's kindness, and Cash even called them out for this. He said, like, you know, they mistake my kindness, and they always walk all over her, which they do, and she's gonna need to put her foot down, and she better go and get that man. She better get Wes.
Oh my gosh, you feel okay? We're gonna talk about this because I have so many people that have messaged me like, oh, she needs to let Wes go and just stick to Isaiah. For what? For why? How come?
He needs to go get Wes, and Amy can have Isaiah because she was crying over Isaiah.
Right. And I say this for a few reasons. Throughout the episode, we see that Isaiah is still playing between both of them, which is his right. And they both have said that they're open to other people, which is their right. Again, I say there's no problem with that in the show. So it's a lady's choice. Why should Cash focus only on Isaiah unless Isaiah is going to focus only on Cash? And it's lady's choice.
Oh my God. I mean, I am salivating at the idea of Cash going first and choosing Wes.
Can you imagine if they let her do that? Oh my gosh.
They would though. That's what the edit would be, right? They'd have to set up the order like that. They'd have to. Hi, Amaka. Yeah, that AB blue blowout at Cash was so uncalled for. It was all initiated by Isaiah. Exactly. Be mad at Isaiah. Isaiah didn't pick you and he didn't kiss you in that moment. Did Cash even know that Amy was crying or why she was crying at the time? I don't think so.
No, because the only conversation that she had with her was about Jeremy, and Cash was doing exactly what Cash always does, is telling her it's early days. There are going to be more guys. And if he don't see that you're quality and you're worth it, ignore him. Like, he doesn't deserve you. And she was very right. 2 days late. A night later, new guys come in and they both want Amy. So the point was moot, like that point. But then what came afterwards, I'm still not sure. She keeps saying Cash knew, because Cash is her best friend. Cash knew how much she was into Isaiah. And everywhere, like, I thought I was confused. Everywhere that I looked, nobody has realized that Amy was into Isaiah that much. Everybody thought that he chose rocks. he wanted to choose Roxy over Cash. And I did think it was between Amy and Cash. And I thought Amy basically was like, she wasn't really into him. She was more into Jeremy. Right. And so then it came down to Cash and Roxy, and he didn't choose Roxy because she wasn't the energy that he needed. So I was a bit confused that all of a sudden how she sings, she had very deep feelings for Isaiah, and Cash knew this. How? You never portrayed any of that
Well,
unless editing.
like the whole, I don't remember when it happened, but no, it must have been after this. So Jeremy has said to her since then that like, no, I never said that we were in a friendship. Like, I still want to get to know you. So from everybody else's perspective, you're still pursuing Jeremy because that's what's happening. And so for her to be upset over Isaiah makes zero sense to me. For her to expect that Cash knew that she was upset over Isaiah makes no sense to me. So you're telling me that Isaiah should have chosen you and Cash would have been left with nobody? Is that what the right thing was?
That's what it felt like to me, because I was like, so you're saying you were crying immediately after recoupling because you realized that that Isaiah didn't, because of the way the order went, that meant that Isaiah didn't choose you. He chose Cash. So you're mad that you weren't his first choice and that you ended up back with Jeremy. And so what would have happened to Cash? She would have had to couple up with Jeremy or Javonny, because who else was she? Those were like, who else was she supposed to couple up with to stay? And what if Jeremy had chose Roxy? So you're saying to me you were okay with Cash going home, because I don't understand what she thought was going to happen, because there in no way has anybody said Amy is really into Isaiah and it's really down to Amy and Cash the last day and a half.
And another thing too, with this show, sometimes you save people so to give the opportunity for other people to get to know them a little bit deeper. So yes, they're coupled up in, but they're still both open to meeting other people, talking to other people. So it hasn't closed the door completely for Amy. It's just the fact that she wasn't chosen first. It irritates me to the highest degree.
So unless that's why she lost her crap about the kiss, because then she realized that he was really into Cash more than.
No, I don't think he is. I think it's performative, personally.
No. I'm saying from her perspective. I'm not saying for real. What I'm saying is from her perspective, it may be the timing of the kiss maybe threw her off, because then she thought about it. Oh, and he might really be into Cash, and so I have nobody. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like in her head, then she just lost her other option.
Well, I think the kiss just made it seem as though he's more into her than she thought. It's not just a friendship
one-sided or
you coupling. The fact that he kissed her passionately in front of Amy, him doing it in front of Amy, would show Amy that he is interested in Cash in more than just like, we're saving each other in this moment. So I think that she should be mad at Isaiah. But I do believe that Isaiah is performative. I don't actually think he's that into Cash or maybe even anybody, because when he's even talking, like, I feel like a weight has been lifting off my shoulders, so I can really just focus on you. I just don't believe his words.
And me neither. So this was my whole thing, and why I came to the decision that I came to at the end of the episode with Cash and Wes. I feel like Isaiah is saying words, and I see no actions behind it. Even when he goes back and says to Amy, I'm still going to get to know you. I told that to Cash, and I said in my head, when the conversation right before this, you told Cash that you were focusing in on her. So my whole thing is focus in on her. Show her that that's who you want. And I'm not seeing it. And then he keeps saying it. And then Wes comes in and he says, oh, we both like the same girls, which says to me, you're still not focused on Cash. You're still focused on Cash and Amy. He tells Amy, oh, I still have a decision to make. Why? When you told Cash and you told Amy, you were and you told Javonny that you were focused on Cash. I am not seeing the focus on Cash. I'm hearing the words. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, to Cash, he says the words. To everybody else, he says that he's open-minded to meeting new people and stuff like that.
Which is fine, but my whole thing is don't make it seem like you're for Cash only, because that's not true.
Well, he's not making it seem like that to anybody but Cash. Everybody else.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, to Cash. And I'm glad that she seems to understand that. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, he's whack to me. I'm not really into him at all. Not at all. And so Amy goes and talks to Jeremy about the whole friend zone thing, or that we're just friends. And I took it in the same way that Amy took it. Fire alarm. That he was open to maybe a relationship of some sort with Florida. It definitely did not seem like he was closing that door, and that he was like, he loved getting to know Amy, that they were in some sort of friendship and whatnot. Is it that hot in there that you're starting fires? Hilarious. So yeah,
my dad is cooking, so I think he just set it off. But
no problem.
Yes, I agree. That's how he was saying it, and I kept saying, when Jeremy, every time I wrote it down, when Jeremy talked to Olivia, I said, Jeremy lies about what he said.
I thought I made a typo. I said Amy, but I wrote down Olivia, but I thought I made a typo. Okay, so
no, it was Olivia. He first initially went to Olivia, and Olivia confronted him, and he lied to her and said, I didn't say what he said, because it's on camera. And then he went to Amy later, and he lied to her and said, I didn't say that. I never said that. Say that. But yes, Olivia actually captured exactly how it came across. You said it so that you could have an opening to Florida. That's it.
Exactly. And so, and then when he later on in the episode, might as well just talk about it now. He talks to Florida about it. He's like, "Oh, if I said that, I don't mean to," or something like that. So he completely like denies saying it. And so Florida's like, "You said that to me." And he's like, "Oh, if I said that, I didn't mean to say that, or I'm sorry," or something like that. It's just kind of like, what? He's a bit of a mess, in my opinion. He wanted to go and talk to Amy after his conversation with Olivia, and I don't know why he's trying to lie about it. Like, if you think of her as a friend, just freaking tell her that you think of her as a friend. I don't know why you need to pretend like you never said that when you did. If you wanted to pursue Florida, then do. Why do you need to be so sneaky about everything? It's not that serious. Nobody's that into you, Jeremy. Like, who cares? Just be honest.
Because he's a liar, pants on fire. He doesn't know how not to lie. The man has lied from the time he's like entered the villa. It's absolutely like nuts, like, to this point, because he lies about stuff he doesn't have to lie about. Like, there's no reason to do this much lying in the villa. There's just none.
Not at all. So just like before Jeremy goes and lies to Amy, Corey piggybacks Florida and rips her dress. And I was like, oh, you don't want to rip the dress, trying to do something cute, like, because then she's just going to be annoyed, even though she's not going to pretend, like, she's not going to act annoyed. But like, in my head, I'm like, if I didn't really feel like getting a piggyback from a guy that I'm not that into, and then he makes me get on his back, and then I rip my dress, I'd be like, ugh, annoyed. So I mean, he goes over and like they talk about his speech, and she thought it was really sweet. Whatever. They probably kissed. I feel so bad for Corey because he's trying really hard, but he's just not bringing the swag, and it's just not landing. Like, the edge that he's trying to get from his tattoos, and like, it's just not landing with his swagger with getting these girls.
The hardest part for me is what he said. He's like, he didn't get to say his full speech during the recoupling. And what he wanted to say to her was that I had a wall up, and the moment that I saw you, the wall came crashing down, and I could be myself, and there was no other girl for me. I felt so bad for him. I'm like, You're saying this to somebody who literally could care less.
She could care, like she's not into him at all. I'm so sorry, Corey. You're such a little sweet thing. And looking cuter.
You could tell, like, you could tell she's not into him. She's just like going through the motions with him.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel about Trina and Cinco so excited to like sleep in the same bed together?
I'm like, they're happy to sleep in the same bed. They appreciate each other. She gives him a grandma kiss, which makes sense because she was dressed like one. I didn't, again, no substance. There was no substance to that conversation. There
And
wasn't.
was that the only time that they were in the entire episode?
And the game.
See? He's
There's
not
nothing to that.
in the
Yeah.
show no more. Cinco
No.
became a background performer with Trina as his like their continuity background extras right now.
The only time he showed any personality was in the middle of the show when,
Oh,
with the do rag and the do
oh,
rag.
that's so
It was
cute.
so cute. It was absolutely cute.
So
But
cute. And
he lost all his personality.
like she's like dancing in the mirror with Javonny and him, and like he's getting a little bit of his friend back, but I think that he's like, man, oh, I have to go lie down and be all serious with this girl, but like I just want to hang out with Cash, you know?
Yeah.
And
No, he totally messed up. He has no personality. He's still mumbling. What's with the mumbling? Where is all this swag that he had where he was like, he just spoke so manly, and I'm not seeing his personality that he came into the villa with. And I just
like trying to be like sexy.
yeah, like I don't understand it, but also they must not have any substantive conversations unless they're having it in the bathroom because I'm not seeing anything on camera. I don't get it.
I don't get it at all, but I just love the do-rag crew. That's my favorite. Those are my three favorite people of the episode, and I think of the show. I like Cinco when he's with Cash. Trina really sucks the fun out of him. She's the fun police. Like it's only about sex and how much we want each other, me and you. Like, but Cash, all the above. She's so well rounded. She's so great.
I'm actually very disappointed, but I'm like, listen, they picked it. I hope it helped. She might no longer be the villain, and he and her might stay to the end, but I'm not seeing the personality. It's gone.
So the next morning, all the guys are talking, and Will says he's surprised by the recoupling. He thought that Isaiah was going to choose Amy, I think he had said. And then Isaiah and his like whole matter of fact, like how he talks, like he does. Who talks like this? You're watching UK, right? It's kind of like Hugo. Hugo just talks very matter of fact. Like he doesn't talk about like when he doesn't like anybody ever. He just speaks about them kindly with like nice language about them. And so Isaiah's like, yeah, Cash is a dope girl. Like, no, I mean, like, if you're like, yeah, Cash, she's a dope girl. Like, she's like, they don't really get into it. I don't feel like the emotions behind it. They're just saying these words that are supposed to be like meaningful, but they have no meaning behind it. So it's like, Cash is a dope girl. Like, is she? Like, I can't tell by what you're saying. And Javonny asked if Amy is somebody that he was still going to be looking into, and he kind of says yes. And I'm just kind of like, Javonny, I know, is looking out for Cash here, and I hope that Javonny has a conversation with Cash before the next recoupling, because I want him to be like, yeah, just so you know, Isaiah is still pursuing Amy.
Well, she knows that because it does say that they had a conversation in bed, which leads to her conversation with Amy. But the boys seem very shocked that he picked Cash, which was shocking to me. So I'm like, what are the conversations that is being had behind the scenes that they are like out of this world shocked that he picked Cash? It was like, wow, like they all of them seem to be off about the whole fact that he didn't pick Amy, which is so funny because, like I said, everybody that I saw online were like, oh, he really wanted Roxy, and I'm like, so obviously y'all weren't. I didn't think he wanted Roxy out of the two between Cash and Roxy, but I could definitely see him wanting Amy, but I also wasn't seeing, so I don't know if it's editing. I wasn't seeing that he still was into Amy more than Cash at that point.
Me neither, but I think it's the editing. But it could be like our subconscious programming that like cash is not the prize, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And then Javonny does say when he and Olivia talks that he had a conversation with Cash about Isaiah. So that's good. Yeah.
Good. Now Olivia, she's bugging me a little bit. Because I don't remember what happened here, but she said something about like, oh, my man's got bars. So I guess Javonny must have rapped or said some sort of lyrics. And she said that she's looking for a tall businessman, and Javonny is a walking meme. And so I'm just like not liking how she's disrespecting him a little bit. Like, from what Javonny's showing in the villa, he's showing to be a kind, respectful, like funny, like man that is into her, that's older than her, that like he's really interested in pursuing. And she's just looking like, oh, well, he's not my type. Oh, he's, I'm looking for a top businessman. Oh, he's a walking meme. Oh, I can't believe you read. Oh, like, it's just like, she's very, very negative on him. And I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to make it a racial thing, but I just feel like it might be just that, because nothing that he's shown that he's sensitive, he's shown that he's a great friend, he's shown that he really likes her. Nothing I'm seeing is setting off any flags to say why Olivia is not entertaining him in the slightest, other than she keeps saying he's not her type. And I'm just like, I don't understand what, like, you're saying. First you said you want a father figure, you date older. Slade is not older than her. He does own a business. He does own a business, so I guess he's a businessman. But the whole walking meme thing was just rude. Like, it was just disparaging. And I'm like, okay, I can understand you saying that week 1, day 4 or 5, that Javonny is a walking meme. Since then, he has shown that he is way beyond a walking meme. So even to just state that on date, we're on 12, 13, is absolutely rude.
And also, like, I wish that she'd seen maybe how he took care of Cash up on the lookout, when she was just having her moment. Like, he was there for her. He was not being funny. Like, he was being listening, being very manly. You know what I mean? Like, I wish she'd seen maybe that moment, because maybe she could start taking him that a little bit seriously. I'm sure
Cash told her, like, they're probably the best of friends other than Cash and Amy.
But she might have told her, and she might have been like, oh yeah, Giovanni comforted me, like we had a chat on the lookout. She might not have laid out like how he did it. When she comes back, she might be like, wow, I never really saw that side of Giovanni. And I'm sure that Giovanni had put on this, like, it is a bit of a mask, his like funny character sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably how he's gotten by in the world, is like being entertaining and fun to be around. But like, he does still have really vulnerable moments, and so the fact that she's not willing to see them, I'm just kind of getting tired of it. I'm not really into
it. Like, everybody's like, oh, I love Olivia, she's such a good friend to Cash, and I do really love how good of a friend she is to Cash, but I do not like how she treats Javonny at all. She either needs to say, I am totally not into you, or she needs to focus on the man.
Exactly. Amaka says she's not sure she trusts Wes yet. Oh, he's very.
I don't trust any of these people, but it is what it is.
Wes does seem like a problem, and all the guys know it. He's a problem. He's a problem. Wes and Isaiah give me PTSD. I'm scared for Cash. I think that Wes, even if he's playing a game, he will play the game correctly. Like, if he gets with Cash and Wes will win the show. I agree. Wes is as smart as we think he is, and they've seen the show before they're coming into this villa. He will know, he's saying all the right things. So he's saying, like, she's like, we have this spark, and like, she's gorgeous. All the right things about Cat. Personality is great. even when he's talking to other people, how he's surprised more by Kat and about how much he connected to her. So if this is all a lie, he's a good game player. But if he does get with Cash, regardless of whether he's playing a game or not, they will take it to the end and they will win the show 100%.
100%. I agree.
No doubt. Nobody else.
And I had to point this out to somebody because they were like, "Oh, I'm afraid Isaiah is Cash's Caleb." I said, "Isaiah is not Cash's Caleb.
Cash's Caleb. West. It would be West.
Yeah, that would be West. That's what I said. I said this was before West came in. I said Cinco was Cash's Jeremiah, and Isaiah at best right now is Cash's Trey. And he could turn that around and become Caleb, or he could turn that around and become Isaiah and take them farther than people think that they're going to go. But at this point, and now on this episode, because this was Friday's episode, at this point I think Isaiah is her Trey, and Wes or somebody else that comes in, but I still kind of think it's Wes, is going to be her Caleb. And what people have to understand is the way the show works is you have to be in a couple. She can't win the money by herself. She can't partner up with Leanne and win the money. She has to be in the couple. And whether or not that couple is going to take it outside the villa, at this point, we have no control over. That's what I learned last season, pretty much.
Hi, Ariana. So I also noticed Wes was the only guy with actual standards when asked, what's your type? What are you looking for?
Yes. And I said when he described his type and what he was looking for, I said, it's Cash. Literally what he described was Cash.
So, I mean, he was describing me as well. I was like, yes, that is me. I know his birthday. If he's a Libra, my goodness, I would have.
Did they tell us? Shit.
I don't know if I haven't seen it yet, but I haven't looked for it. So if anybody in the chat can let us know when that handsome man's birthday is, I'm sure it's online if he played sports for school. So I'm sure.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm side-eyeing them both. Netha, like, let's just let Cash win the show with a handsome man and let her win that money. Like, right. She would be fine after. She has Justine and Selly, like, riding so hard for her. Like, she's going to be in their world. It'll be the three of them, like, doing TikToks, like, doing promo stuff. Like, she's fine. She's going to do the best outside of the villa because she's going to link up with the two fan favorites from last season. 100%. So I'm here for Cash. Like, at this point, she should get the bag with the hot guy. Let's do it. Hi, Letty. So I'm starting to realize that Cash might not have any allies among the girls anymore, considering how they are always turned against her. Well, it's because they're catty girls that are used to being the only pretty one, and they're not used to having to compete for the attention of a man by someone who they perceive to be less attractive than they are.
Yep.
And it's just showing a lot about them as human beings. They're a lot more shallow than, we might have noticed before if they hadn't been in this situation. Hi, Big Greg. Isaiah gave me weird vibes from the beginning. I know. I mean, I was just wanting Cash to find a relationship, but he's, I don't know, like Connor, like Jeremy, like there's something off, in my opinion. He's just, the way he handles relationship is not, it's something off. Now he's shown some possessiveness, called it off with Shannon because he was talking to Josh too. Now Cash with Wes. He needs to know it's a show and chill. Yes. We're going to get more into this as well. Definitely. Cash should focus on Isaiah. No, because it's obvious the chemistry with Wes and Amy. Well, I thought there was chemistry with Wes and Cash as well. I didn't think
there was an Olivia's date. I thought Olivia's date sounded like a business interview. There was no comfortability. There was no chemistry. We'll talk about it when you get to it. But I was just like, a lot of people keep saying this, and I'm like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing where
aesthetically people picture them together.
That's what I said. I said, I think they're putting pretty people together, and that doesn't work for me. I don't put pretty people together like that. No.
I mean, I think that Cash and Wes would make some beautiful children.
Oh, gorgeous.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, Amy and him would make really pretty kids as well. Like they would be like, wow. But both, I mean, I think that they're, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I think this is the only time we really saw Josh and Shannon this episode. But they talk about it's only been 2 weeks, and you're my best friend, and we're doing all right, and they kind of do a little smooch, and like they're fine. Nobody's come in there to upset their relationship right now. They're the B couple. They'll get to the end most likely together. They won't win the show, and they might date for a little bit after. I wouldn't be surprised if they stuck together.
Same.
Watch the show before coming on, so I'm sure he is well aware how loved Cash is. So I got behind him. I do.
Everybody keeps saying this, but you guys don't understand. They don't get full episodes. They don't have access to social media.
Yeah, I don't know if they have social media,
They
don't watch the show.
No. So what they do is 1 to 2 weeks, and I only know this because I watched a YouTube episode, a YouTube channel that some girl did. She was in quarantine last year to go on the show, and she was on there waiting to go on, but somebody outed that she was in quarantine to go on Love Island. So that was A. Then B, she kept telling the producer she got to watch a couple of episodes. They don't let them watch everything, and she was like, oh, the person I'm into is Jeremiah. So they kept coming back to her. They're like, who are you interested in? She kept saying Jeremiah. What she didn't realize is the week before Jeremiah got cut. So that is why, because I saw this all over the internet. They know that Cash is loved. That's why they keep coming in here and going after her. They do not know. They know what vibe she puts out in the villa. They know how she's liked in the villa. That's why Wes said, oh, I knew I would like her, but I didn't realize that we would have some chemistry. They also have to always ask, if you notice, they always ask, who are you coupled up with now? Because they don't know. They don't get those.
Yeah, they're a couple of days behind. Even last season, when Casa Amor happened, they were all hoping that Trey was going to be in Casa Amor. And so they didn't get the most recent couple of episodes. So they are a couple episodes behind. I don't know if they see all of them or just a few beforehand or whatnot. I don't think they have social media. I do think that they just get to get like a DVD of a couple of episodes before they go on the show. So they know who's in there.
They take their personal cell phone. They get their personal cell phones while they're in quarantine. They take the personal cell phones 1 to 2 weeks before the cast list is announced. The OG cast list.
Ms. Love says, it seems like some guys are being better and more sincere to Cash than the girls are. Yikes. Yes. What? It's true.
I agree.
It's so true. That's so sad. She's such a good friend. Am I the only one liking Wes so much? He's fine, though. No, you are not the only one. I would become a cougar for this man.
Hilarious.
He's so good looking.
Very.
I see if I can find it. I did so I love tarot cards and readings and all that stuff, and I do them myself, but every once in a while, like, I want to have a card reading and stuff like that done on me. So I did, they had on Etsy, they had draw your soulmate. Mm-hmm. And so I did this draw your soulmate thing, and I need to see if I can find the guy. He kind of looks like him, who they drew for me.
Oh, wow.
Is this him? Yeah. We're not really, but a little bit. This is the guy that they drew for me as my soulmate.
Oh, wow. That's kind of him with a beard.
I mean, I don't love beards personally, but if he looked like Wes underneath, I'd be like, thank you. But yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. That would be crazy if Cash went first. Oh, of course she's gonna go first. How much drama would that cause?
Yeah, see, somebody that I've been talking to feels like Amy's gonna get to go first, and so she's gonna pick Wes. So we don't know.
Well, hopefully they'll swap already.
Yeah, he's a Gemini.
Oh, mean, he's good for me. Do you know when Amy's birthday is? I haven't found hers yet. He's a Gemini. I love a good Gemini, but they're very flirty.
They are. I'm always attracted to them, and I should not be, and I'm a Taurus.
Their sign. So I get along with them really well. Oh my God, I love him already. I'm being so thirsty. Okay, personally, Kat sees Cash as a second option, so I don't want her to go after him and get hurt. I think people are going to start thinking about winning the game, and I don't think we'll win the game with Amy. And I think that if he's coming there to win the game at all, he'll have to realize that Cash is where it's at. And if you watch last season, he'll know that the fans would be like vibing with Cash.
Yeah, they have like literally at this point, because I said the best thing about this season so far is that everybody is going with all their connections and trying out all their connections, because we did not get that last year. And the worst thing about this season so far is everybody is going with all of their connections and testing out all their connections, because at this point we don't have set couples. I don't feel like we have set couples for us to root for. And you guys can say, oh, well, there's Josh and Shannon, and there's Will and Kira, and there's Cinco and Trina. But at this point, none of them have given me something to root for. Like, even with this episode, Will and Kira, just the fakest like interaction. They did what Johnny and Sally did last season with the spa. We're doing spa treatments together. What? Like, it's like you guys literally sat down and watched the show last year and decided this is what you guys were gonna do to prove that you guys were the it couple? Like, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Hi, Brianna. So yeah, I'm a little tired of the second choice narrative. If Cash makes all these guys doubt what they thought they wanted, then she is that girl, period. The one thing though is that I can understand though maybe Cash feeling like the second option, that she's not being picked first. I get that, but I don't necessarily want to think that she's the second option, because when they realize that she's better than the person that they thought that they liked more, I'm okay with them changing their minds because of the type of show that they're on.
Right.
In real world, I would probably be like, you made your decision. But on this game, I'll take it as these guys are horny. They want to like get with their first choice, they think, and then they realize that it's actually the girl that they had a different connection with that they want.
Yep.
Amaka is right. Wes and Slade have an upper hand by watching before they come on. I think, as Tamika has stated, the only upper hand that they really have is they know who these people are and seeing them interact in the villa. That's all I think that they have. I do not think that they know because we remember even on the season last year, they had no phones, obviously, in the villa, but then Johnny and Caleb were able to hack and get into Twitter, and they saw that Caleb and Justine were like the it couple, and as well as Justine and Sally, or as Johnny and Sally, and so that's why they were starting to like be more strategic in how they were recoupling and what they were interacting with their girls and stuff like that, because they knew that it was between those two couples who was going to win. I'm sure that's what instigated Johnny to do the proposal thing, and like realizing that like, hey, like it's me and Sally versus Caleb and Justine. So I don't think that they have any cell phones from when they go into quarantine. I don't think.
Yeah, no, and remember, they weren't on a remote island somewhere like season 1 where they were in Fiji, and right now they're like on a private island in Hawaii. They were in Vegas, so they were able to rejigger their phones that they have to get internet access. I don't think and I'm sure whatever workaround that they did, the Love Island producers made sure that that's not possible this year, even if that means giving them just pagers to say, this is your, I got text. Yeah.
Okay, so Sam says, yeah, but still was crazy over Amy. He seems like he wants her more.
Who, Isaiah or Wes?
she was eating pineapple and fruit. Like she's being quite seductive and coy. I can't tell yet though. He seemed to, in my opinion, enjoy his interaction in a different way with Cash. It could be the whole sexual vibe thing, because I don't know. We'll have to see.
I think Amy might be a Capricorn too.
Amy's a Capricorn? Oh.
I think so. Her birthday's early January too, I think.
Okay. I mean, both of them aren't great with Isaiah, but they both would find him interesting because he's handsome and Gemini very fluffy. Pardon? West.
Oh, I don't know what Isaiah's sign is. What is Isaiah's sign?
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably something watery. She's probably like a Pisces. Okay, y'all seen the interview Christian did with the dude that went home. He said that Trina is the most confused on the show. It was on earlier on today after the island, I think it is, with those two girls. I think that it was on, and I didn't watch it, but I was going to go back and watch it later on. I just didn't have time before chatting with you guys today. I'm sure that she is the most confused because she's the most confusing. Anna says, sorry, but Jeremy has characteristics of a cardboard box. Florida should not go after him. Stay with Corey. He has a pure heart and just needs to open up more. Don't give up on him. I'm not giving up on him, but Florida's giving up on him. She's not interested.
Oh, wait, I'm wrong. Amy's an Aquarius.
Uh-oh.
And what is Isaiah? They don't seem to have Isaiah here.
When does it say when her birthday is or no?
Oh, Isaiah's a Cap too. He's a Cap.
Oh, so Capricorn. You know what though? Isaiah and Cash might make more sense. Capricorn make way more sense than Capricorn and Gemini, and Aquarius and Gemini. That's like one of the matchmates in heaven. Mm-hmm. When's Amy's birthday? Do we have the same birthday?
Yeah, I don't have birthdays. Just somebody on Reddit had laid out their signs. But I know Amy said what she wanted for her birthday, and this was early January. So maybe her birthday was coming after. Somebody had said happy belated, though. This was January 15th. So that's why I said I thought she was a Cap, too.
We'll see. I'm going to investigate after. Is there anybody else if you don't know their birthday?
I know this lays out all their signs. Kara's a Leo. Javonny's a Leo. Christian, Corey, Florida, all Leos. Sagittarius, Cinco and Leanne. Aries, oh Lord, Cinco and Leanne were both Sagittarius. Thank God they didn't go there. Aries is Trina. Pisces is Josh and Shannon and Jeremy. Cancer is Olivia. Capricorn is Cache, Will, Isaiah, and Roxy. Aquarius, Amy, Gemini, West. Oh, wait. So we don't know Slade. Slade's not on here. Did I say Slade? No. Slade's not on here.
Do you know what? Amy might then be able to connect better with West in the end. Because Gemini and Aquarius they're so good together. We just get each other. Eek. Okay, hi Zed. Christian also said that he and Trina had a heart-to-heart that got so deep that they both started crying. So I feel like the show does have substance, but they pick and choose what to show. I mean, that's just the narrative wasn't going in that direction, so they needed to paint Trina as the villain, or you know what I mean? Like they needed to do that.
So which one is it? He thinks she's the most confused, or she has a lot of depth to her? Because when was that conversation?
These are two different people, but I don't know if she actually has any depth at all. I think that she can have moments of vulnerability.
Yes, which we've seen. We saw her do that with Will, remember, where she literally said she was coming from an insecure place. So we've seen her have real vulnerability. It's fewer and farther between. So I can believe that. But I also believe that she's the most confused on the show.
Oh, this is a good comment. Yes, Charlene. Right, Brianna. I like that Cash has them second guessing themselves. Yes. Let's look at that way. It's like they're like, oh, I overlooked you, but no, you are the prize. As you like, that's another T-shirt line we'll say. It's like, you are the prize.
Yeah.
I think Amy was mad that Cash didn't comfort her when she was crying after recoupling and instead kissed Isaiah in front of her. She wasn't mad at Cash being picked.
She said she was mad that Isaiah picked Cash. She said she was mad that Jeremy got to pick her, that because Isaiah didn't pick her. Because that is what happened. In order for things to line up the way they did, Isaiah would have had to have made Cash as his choice, and then somebody would have had to pick between the three girls left. And Isaiah said he was going to pick Cash because, again, we said last episode, they sent a text that said the bottom two girls were going to be at risk. Meaning, I think if Cash was the bottom two girls, they would have probably brought in the two boys and made them couple up with each one of them, and then cut.
Oh my God! Do you know what? That might have been better though, because then Cash would just be able to have free reign with Wes, and Amy would be with Isaiah and all happy. She wouldn't have gone on any of those dates. It would have been Cash. That would have been, and she'd probably been really jealous about that too.
Yeah.
That was out of her control. She didn't initiate it. Exactly. And she was last pick. Last. Amy. Last. But what's is in her face, really? How would you know that you were focused on me when you are upset?
Yeah, I don't know, because didn't she do the same thing to Trina when she took Jeremy?
Yeah, they I don't know. I don't remember actually specifically. Hi, Jessica. I love Javonny. I do too. He's always looking out for Cash. Absolutely. And I hope he stays after this recoupling and finds a good connection. Me too.
I hope they do for him what we're saying that they should have done for Cash, which is keep him, because otherwise the boys are not bringing any other personality to this show. Like, so if they lose Javonny, I think they're going to screw themselves.
So they do show what they want to, and then we see it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So maybe like with the drop tomorrow or with the Paramount Plus episode, was there an unseen bits? I don't know what they call them. Was there one of those on Saturday? I didn't watch it.
The late bear episode on Friday is the unseen bits. So tonight is going to be the Monday exclusive Paramount Plus episode, which will drop tonight either live or as a extra episode on the Paramount Plus app tonight. And then tomorrow it'll probably drop on the CBS app. And then also tomorrow will be the drops, which is extra footage.
So we might see it there.
Footage, right. And then I think then we'll get another Laid Bear episode on Friday. Actually,
we won't see it there because Christian is so not part of the conversation anymore. So yeah.
No. We're past that because that was Friday. We saw they barely even focused on Christian. So I don't know what he brought to the table, because literally we saw most of the episode. We saw like Leanne and Roxy and them and Isaiah through the rest of the show. So.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Letty. So we can only hope, though, who will he recouple with? I don't know how the recoupling is going to go. I don't. Not yet. I think, is it going to be a recoupling after this episode, or do you think it's after Tuesdays?
It said Tuesday there would be a recoupling.
So I'll have to give you a better idea tomorrow afternoon as to what I think is going to go on.
So I don't know if they'll play it like the UK, where the two boys that at the end will be single, and then they have like a Rachel bombshell walk in.
It depends on who the two guys are.
That's what I'm saying. I think it'll depend on the two guys, and then she will have to choose between, like, let's say it's Javonny and Corey, and they will probably send in somebody who wants Javonny, and then she will recouple with Javonny and save him. I don't know if it'll play out that way, but that's what I think, right?
And Jordan, we feel bad for Corey as well. I mean, I didn't love him in the beginning because I thought that his tattoos were a mask and like acting as personality, and he just seemed quite boring. But now that I'm just feeling bad for him that he's not able to open up and he's not finding anybody to connect with. And I do think it's partially because of the tattoos. They do, I feel, bring up a barrier, just because it's kind of intimidating. It makes him appear to be a type of guy that he's not. it doesn't seem as though he's going to be serious about relationships just from the tattoos. And I know it's judgmental, but that's what it comes across as. And so sad he's not able to overcome that and find somebody that's interested in him. I mean, I would like to see him find somebody. Y'all see how Florida lied to Corey and said that he kissed her. Meanwhile, she was begging for the kiss. That was so lame. Oh my God. We're going to get to there. Let's just beforehand, Corey and Florida do have a talk and they kiss, and you kind of already laid out what they were talking about with him like having the sweet speech that he planned on saying to her. And I'm just like, save your sweetness. Like, Florida is not into you, Corey. I'm sorry. We see Jeremy talking to Shannon. Why is Shannon turning into Shade Queen? Like, I'm like, Shannon, why are you talking so much?
So I will give Shannon this. She is in a couple. She's made sure that it has her own identity outside of her couple. That makes her kind of involved in the show. Whether that personality is someone you want to root for, I guess it depends on the person, because at this point she's coming across as a gossip, and I don't like the advice she gave Corey, and I also don't like the advice that she gave Florida, and I was not happy with her involvement in their relationship at all.
Yeah, like Jeremy's talking to Shannon and she's like about Florida, and she's like, oh, just like give her like this look, and like when you walk by, like, I'm like, what's your, you should be helping Corey here, or being like, hey, first I think you should talk to Corey and tell him that you're interested in Florida, and like maybe like settling that first so he's not blindsided. That's what she should be saying, not like how he should be getting the girl. I mean, we didn't see the full conversation, so maybe that beforehand, but it just looks really shady that she was just willing to get him to turn on one of the OG villa, his friend in the villa, to go for Florida and like try to get her from Corey. It's just like, have some respect for the poor guy. He hasn't had very much luck in the villa, and now you're telling his friend to go steal his girl. Like, not feeling it. So what am I talking about? Anything that makes your natural beauty is beyond the kiss. Surprised by the coupling. For me, he is sketch. What's it? Worried for cash. Oh, that must have been. Oh, it's Isaiah. I'm like, who am I talking about here? I'm like, it is Isaiah talking about her. Like, I'm not feeling him. It's just lip service to me.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm a Taurus, and I'm supposed to be very attracted to Capricorns. I've yet to meet a Capricorn man that is not sketchy. I've been on dating apps. I've been in person. I have yet to connect to a Capricorn man that is like not sketchy. So I can definitely see it.
I don't know that many, to be honest, because like I end up gravitating towards Aquarius, Libras, and Capricorn. I mean, and Geminis. So I can't make a judgment call there. I can't think off the top of my head of a Capricorn man that I know.
Yeah, I gravitate towards Geminis, other Tauruses. My ex-husband was a Taurus. He was a Taurus Gemini cusp, like day of. And Scorpios.
I mean, those are good for you, though. Geminis are good for you, but Scorpio.
Geminis are not good for me.
So, Cash goes over to Amy and says that I think that you're avoiding a conversation. And so they go and they talk, and I thought this was a mature way to handle the whole situation. Cash is just like explaining herself. It's like, listen, like she regrets a little bit about how she started her relationship with Cinco, that she wasn't openly affectionate right from the beginning. She was a little bit more reserved and holding back, and she didn't want to do that a second time with Isaiah. And so Amy is kind of saying like she understands, and that she was just her, and she's her best friend in the villa, blah blah blah, and that no men will ever come between us, is what Amy says. And so I think a man is going to end up coming in between them, because
I said that. I said, okay, so those are words that are going to come back to haunt them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
that's it. I mean, listen, I think people want Cash to have the Justine Selly experience where she gets her bestie in this situation and there's no competition. But unfortunately, I think with Selly, she was able to see the star that Justine was and was able to let her rock and be in front and still have her own personality shine. And I just am not seeing that person. I mean, Olivia seems a little bit like that person, but they've also not gone after the same guy. I would wonder what would happen if Cash all of a sudden says, "Hey, I want to be with Javonny." Would Olivia have a problem with that? I
I
don't
don't think,
think so either. But
I don't
but
think so.
I'm not seeing it with the other girls that, and I think, I think they wanted that with her with Trina. I think we wanted that with her and Shannon, and I think we wanted that with her and Amy, but it is not happening.
Yeah, thanks for agreeing with me, CJ. Isaiah is very performative. I don't think he's being legit. Like your natural beauty is just. I'm just like, get out of here. Like nobody really talks like that on when they're 24. Come on. I don't know how old he actually is, but like, not feeling it. Florida is weird. Jeremy lying to her is meant to be a red flag for her. I know she seems to not care. I was like, if I found out that the guy that like I was kind of interested in completely lied to my face because he's trying to get with me, and then he's lying to the other girls saying that they're together still, like I would be like, this guy is playing games. I know I'm not into it. Twitter is weird to me. Jeremy called her a liar, basically, and she let him kiss her. I know. I'm hoping maybe Florida is playing Jeremy. I think she's
I don't
in
know.
the villa longer with Jeremy, and she's probably more attracted to him.
She like said that his kisses were good, and I'm just like,
She
first
might
of
be saying that because she doesn't want to offend him. What's Florida sign again?
I'm like, first of all, y'all were slobbering. Leo.
Leo, and Jeremy's a
Jeremy.
Pisces.
Okay.
That's not a match at all. But Corey
No.
is a Leo, so that would be a better fit for her.
Yeah. I don't know. So I hope she comes to her senses, and she's not going to win with
I don't
Jeremy.
mind her getting with Jeremy. We can vote them both off. That's fine.
That's what I said. I said, but if she gets with Jeremy, I hope she realizes that we're just gonna vote them both off. Does she think Jeremy is like she either, to me, this can't be a strategic thing. She has to be some sort of attracted to him because because I'm like, this can't be strategic. You have to know that America voted for you to go on a date with Corey because we like Corey, and that you pretended like you liked Corey, and for you to jump ship to Jeremy, who's dumped two girls at this point, means you're going to get voted off. So she was smart. It would behoove her to stay with Corey until Casa Amor, if there's a Casa Amor. I'm like, she doesn't look dumb, so I'm just like, she must really like Jeremy for some reason, and I'm not getting it.
Or like just like being pursued and feeling like she's like the pretty it girl, you know?
That's true too.
So hi Dino. Hope Javonny stays. I know he's funny and reads exactly the Islanders well, and knows who is fake, and who knows who's fake in there, and always looking out for Cash. Exactly. I totally love Javonny. I'm just hoping that he has a better love story in here. Hi Virgo love. Amy killed me at that challenge when she said she had the card and she picked was fate. Well, it could.
I mean, it could have been fate. I thought it was funny. I just thought the entire situation was funny because she was like insistent on not doing it, and Cash was like, "Go ahead, girl, go ahead and kiss him." And then they just, to me, my issue with the kiss was they took it too far. Like, that was just it. Like,
it was a bit much.
Which is why I'm saying, to like, people keep saying that, oh, Amy's not gonna be looking at Isaiah. I'm like, but why would she? Like, if there's nothing here showing me that her and Isaiah have like really like cut ties. Like, it seems like they're still interested in Isaiah, and she's still interested in Isaiah, and Isaiah's still interested in her. So I could definitely see her going after Isaiah. If she feels like Isaiah is the better fit for her between Westlade and Isaiah,
There's no way though. Wes is way better looking than Isaiah. There's
right,
no way.
I can see her picking Isaiah. Now, if it comes down to it's between them two to pick whoever they want to, and it's a fight to the finish, I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Me neither. So next up was the conversation. We talked about it already a little bit with Jeremy pulling Florida for a chat, and I was mad at you, and them having to admit that there's a spark between them. And oh, if I said that, I'm sorry. If you said that, no, you should be like, I'm sorry that I said that, and I lied about you to two people in the villa and made it look like you were lying. But I'm sorry. Let's just make out. Like, come on, Florida. He's not where it's at.
Anything, he called you a liar. If somebody called me a liar, that's it. Like, that would be it for me. I don't care how attracted I am to you. Like, we would be done. So she's okay with him calling her a liar? Like, and then you want to make out? It's just skeevy to me. Very skeevy.
Yeah, I think she just doesn't have a good read on the whole villa. So we see Corey talking to Shannon. We talked about this conversation already, and I just wrote down that I feel bad for Corey, and Shannon's giving bad advice.
She gave bad advice. Bad advice.
You already spoke about this, but Spa with Will and Kira giving him a face mask, and they talk about like being together after the villa, and he could see that happening. One thing he did say though, that she's half Japanese, half Hawaiian, and I was like, is she Japanese or Filipino? So I'm curious as to which one is correct, because online it says Filipino, but he said Japanese, and so I don't know if he's just got that information wrong, but she didn't correct him. So I'm curious about that.
Not Japanese, but identifies as Filipino.
But usually culturally people would be wanting to are specific about who they might be, but maybe she didn't notice him. She's like, he's just so good looking, he can say anything with his accent, and I'll be like, yes. Corey and Jeremy talk. I was so pissed off when he had to like give him like a handshake, like a bro handshake, and go and sit down. And I was so annoyed that Jeremy just gets to go in there and get what he wants. Like, he's supposed to be friends and boys with Corey. It doesn't matter. He can go steal his girl. He can go dump Trina however he feels like dumping Trina. He can go say that he's friends with Amy and then lie to everybody about him saying that, and then still gets Florida. And then he just doesn't have Corey being mad at him because like Corey's just like, okay, well, you know, do what you got to do. I'm just like, why does he get
dumped? I want him dumped from the island. Like, he's ruining people's lives on the show. He's creating villain after villain after I just need him to go.
What did you think about this next conversation? So the only little other spotting of Trina and Cinco with Amy, Cinco's asking like, what is some must-haves that they would have to bring on vacation? And Amy's like, a vibrator. And then Trina's like, oh, I'd bring a vibrator too. And Amy's like, well, I'd bring like a few. Or
I think she said 3. I was like, you need 3 vibrators? Like 3?
And I think that Trina was like, oh, am I being showed up for like that she was being more sexual than I am?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
So Javonny gets a text. Let's get fresh. 90s party. I was loving it. And then I was like, oh my God, half of these people were born probably in like 1999. So I'm like, you don't even know what this was all about. It was real. It was real.
First of all, Florida was dressed not 90s to me. She was dressed like 60s, 70s to me. Everybody else was dressed on like her print was. Yeah, the print was 80s, but the styling was 70s, 60s, like go-go girl. And then everybody else was like on point to me.
I mean, I love a good dress up. I've had like 90s inspired birthday parties. I'm always having a themed party. It's just kind of what I like. And so I was very much feeling it. I don't care if it wasn't to the 90s. Just the fact that people get to dress up is like, I'm always excited by it. So I'm obsessed with this, obviously, even though most of them weren't even born or were barely born. So they had to do Say by the Bell, Truth or Dare. And I didn't really put all of them down. They had to say who their honest first impression, and Javonny decided to not let his girl Olivia do this one. He went and gave honest impressions.
I hope when we get the Laid Bare episode, they actually show that whole segment because I want to see what he said about every single one of them.
Because they skipped Trina. I was like,
they skipped Trina. They skipped a few people. And I want to know why he actually said that they decided to skip that. So, because either way, I know it was probably very funny.
I agree, or like kind of mean, which is like, or real, truthful. They had to do the marshmallow stuffing, so it was Shannon and Trina, and they stuffed the marshmallow, and they had to say, "Boom chicka wow wow," and Trina got it, and so she got to kiss her man, whatever. There had to be a threesome kiss. Who was that? Jeremy and
Olivia and Florida.
Right.
Which was weird because he says to her later, oh, he was waiting to kiss her in a challenge when they kiss again. And I'm like, but you just kissed her in a challenge. So what I don't, Jeremy's weird.
Not into him. So they say that there's a virgin in the village. Who do you think this is?
Jeremy or Isaiah.
That's me too. Exactly. Yeah, I probably more so Jeremy.
And that was my choice too. I'm leaning Jeremy, but I think it's probably one or the two of them. I'm not sure about Isaiah because both of them have said they don't have long histories, but Isaiah did say he had a situationship, a fling for a year, which is why I'm not leaning him. Because my thing is, if you're in a situationship or a fling, y'all are having sex, right? Like, how do you have
Well, also, though, people have been saying that Isaiah's a good kisser. And I think that people that are virgins tend to not be as good at kissers because there's a part of the turning people on that they don't fully understand 100%. Right. And so like Colton from The Bachelorette, The Bachelor, they all said that he wasn't a good kisser. And I think it's because he wasn't, sexually attracted to women and have had sex with any women. So I think that this is my own theory that virgins can't kiss. Virgin guys, anyways. Maybe virgin girls can, but maybe virgin guys, I'm going to say maybe not. Maybe not. And also with the fact that he was so like pushing away Trina with all of her sexual advances, like most guys would be kind of into that. You know what I mean? Or like, the fact that
okay with it, yeah,
took it a little bit too far. It was like he was like, oh my god, and like she wants to go to the hideaway. Oh my god, I don't want to be feeling like I was forced to have sex with her. It's my first time, so this could be why he kind of put the brakes on him and Trina because she's so forward and he would probably be expecting sex, and maybe he wouldn't want to have his first time be in the hideaway with some woman that he doesn't know if he's going to be in a long-term relationship with. So
and also friend zoning Amy just as they're starting to grow to a point where their relationship will evolve and trying to cut and run and go to Florida and being forward with her, but he'll probably end up doing the same exact thing to her by day 3. So, yeah.
I think it's Jeremy all the way. I don't care, obviously, but they put this into the show, so we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Amy gets a text, and she's very excited about this text. Wait, what happened with her? I didn't even write it down. So what did her card say?
Her card says, kiss an islander that if you could, you would have coupled up with them. And we all know the only islander at that point she would have coupled up with is Isaiah. And so she was like, I can't do it. We already did. Like, she's talking to Cash. She's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, they've already had that.
Go, girl. Just go do it. Have your fun. Just go.
Like, do that. She's like, it's okay. I'm not offended. She has a name for her hair. She said, the hair is not offended. She's like, just go ahead. And my whole thing is, a kiss, but they were making out.
They're like dipping him back and like really into it. Like it didn't even look good. It just looked very performative and showy.
Aggressive. Like I was like, what was all of that for? Y'all could have kissed and just stood there. Like what?
Lexa is on with us too. Jeremy has been lying since day 1. He stated that there was he was there for something serious and then changed his mind. Florida is silly at this point because she will couple up with him and get sent home. Yep.
Maybe she wants to be sent home. She definitely don't want 100K.
Definitely. You still have it like 10 more minutes, correct? Just checking here.
Like 15 minutes.
Okay,
15,
cool.
20 minutes. Yeah.
Cool beans. Okay, guys, don't forget the boys said that they felt that Isaiah was more into Amy and they were surprised that he chose Cash.
Yeah, I said that the boys seemed to be very shocked that Amy was not the choice for Isaiah and that he chose Cash, which says to me, what were the conversations around? Like, they weren't saying, well, we're shocked that you chose Cash instead of Roxy. They were saying, we're shocked that you didn't choose Amy instead of Cash, which to me says, what was the conversation going on with the boys that they were so shocked?
Uh-oh. So this Virgo Love is saying this season is showcasing why I don't have female friends, really. I mean, I have only female friends for the most part, and they do not act like this because the friends that I have are very confident in themselves, and they don't seek in others what they're missing in themselves. So I think just the maturity level of the people in your surroundings would indicate whether or not they're going to be good friends as women. But also, I'm most likely older than you too. Most likely a lot older than you. I'm Jordan say that Love Island USA needs to chill with the bombshells. I think they'll chill for a bit.
Yeah, I think unless Javonny is at risk, we might not see another bombshell. I think they'll set the couples and we get to vote.
Yeah, I think they're going to start doing some like kicking off the island soon.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. They do need to send some of these bombshells over to Love Island UK because they haven't figured out how to cast the season, which is very, very strange.
Okay, so I've been watching it on Hulu, which keeps me behind, but I also read on Twitter, so I'm kind of caught up as well. How do you keep these people straight? I cannot. They're literally the same people in different forms, and then they speak the same, they act the same. And there's like only like 2 girls I can name and 2 boys I can name, and I've been trying to all the last week to try to figure out who's who, and I'm pretty good with like names and faces and stuff, but oh my gosh.
I mean, I figured them out. I don't know. It's just funny. I think they look different. I don't know, but it could be because I'm a British background. I don't know. Je sais pas. Where was I here? Maybe all the way back here. Holy cow. So let's just kind of blow through the rest of this episode. So Amy gets a text. There's going to be some new Islanders. #OhSnap. I wish that they were dressed 90s. That would have been cute if they came in 90s instead of them just looking so normal when everybody's dressed up. So I wish that they had done that for the new Islanders. But Olivia got butterflies right away. Javonny could see her looking at that guy, and he knew he lost her. He's like, okay, she's gone. And they even have conversations after. Javonny's like, no, that guy's her type. Like, he is her type. And I felt bad because it's kind of like he's been putting in so much work and doing like the nice guy stuff and being respectful and being patient, and this tall white young dude is more her type, and she's just going to jump ship. And she even says it. She's like, yeah, my head could be turned, even though I've been working on something with Javonny and I really care about him.
And I feel like Slade only likes her because he's like, oh, I think that he's like, oh, she's from Alaska, so if you're in Alaska, you have to like the outdoors. Is that true? Like, I'm like, everybody in Alaska has to like the outdoors. Like,
I think she does, though.
No, okay, well that's good because I'm like, just say that you want all American looking person, and don't sit there and try to gaslight me that you're looking for somebody to do outdoorsy stuff with you.
So they're all talking the guys are talking, and they talk about Cinco. He's like, oh, you play ball, right? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, where'd you play ball? He's like, I went to Harvard.
I love it. Everybody got quiet. Every single man got quiet. Every single girl was like, oh. Hilarious. Absolutely.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So the girls take the guys on a tour, which was cute and fun. And they're talking to them up in, I forget where they had the little sit down, but that's when Javonny mentioned to the guys, like, yeah, he saw the change. And when the girls are talking to them, they're like, okay, so you guys are coupled up. Who's with who? And so Amy's like, I'm with the Tarzan looking one. Kira's like, I'm with the Colombian one. What's her name? Florida's like, I'm with the really tatted one. Shannon, poor Shannon's like, I'm with the short one.
Short one.
And Cash is like, I'm with the prettiest one, and obviously Trina's with, I'm with the dark chocolate one.
I do like that because Isaiah is the prettiest one there.
He's pretty, but
his eyes are beautiful. His eyes are gorgeous.
He's very, very aesthetically good looking, but he doesn't. I don't want I think that he's better looking than Wes, but Wes is sexier. There's something.
Wes is more my type. I think Wes is also more Cash's type because remember she says she likes big men. She likes men. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Javonny's saying that himself, Jeremy, and Corey are going to be at the risk, and it's true. It's very true.
He called that situation absolutely spot on. Called it spot on.
Obviously, Olivia thinks Shade is her type. Ugh. Shannon even noticed that Slade might have been her type. So Slade and West, they all seem really sweet. Everybody really likes them so far. It seems like Olivia's trying to pretend that she doesn't like him as much as she does because she doesn't want to disrespect Javonny. But you could tell that she was like, oh my God, yes. Finally, there's someone that I'm kind of into. So what Slade and Wes are talking about, Slade said that Olivia is his first choice, just off of seeing somebody, their looks, and that Shannon he kind of likes a little bit. And Wes is like Amy and Cachet. He loves that Cachet shows confidence. And so I'm like, oh my God, we're pitting these girls against each other. I'm like, no. So Wes is talking to Isaiah down in the kitchen area, and Isaiah is kind of like, oh, we keep, we're, the two light-skinned brothers are interested in the same girls. And I thought that was interesting. That Isaiah is also kind of staking claims in Amy there at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, so you keep telling people you're focused on Cash, but you're telling the boys that your focus is on both of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Netha, the villa would be boring without the
show is over. Yeah. Did you see the comment from Wes when he was looking at the gym equipment? He's like 80 pounds and he was laughing.
Yes, that's why you need to bring someone in for Javonny and Corey because they can feel wanted. Absolutely. We've been saying this all along. Just cast people that like Black people or that have dated Black people or are interested in Black people, not people that say I date everybody. No, right. Specifically. Even though that's kind of pigeonholing, but if you're going to choose people that are not into Black people, you can choose people that are into only Black people.
Right.
I don't know if it'll be boring without Javonny and Cash. Really? Okay, what would go on? You want to watch?
So who's going to make it a better show? I need to know because I'm not seeing it. And more to that.
They're saying that the edits, they're editing them now because that's what the show is going on. It's they're editing, they're making the storylines that are interesting and they are focusing on them. What would they focus on anybody else?
Johnny and Sally last year had a good relationship up until Casa Amor. We saw tons of their relationship. Tons of their conversations. Same thing once Justine and Caleb started coupling up and people are like, well, what were they talking about? And then they started making them have conversations on camera. They had more conversations and actually was substantive. So I don't think it's that these people are coupled up. I think it's because they're not having good conversations.
Absolutely. See, this is the thing is what I've noticed in this particular cast, for the most part, most of the couples don't talk about anything of substance. They don't talk about like what they like to do. I sent a clip of this relationship expert that talks about the first episode of Love Island, and he really nails it. The fact that like they're like, oh, I really like what's going on between us right now, and like, oh, I really like I see something with us. And it's like, okay, great, but like, what do you like to do in your real life? What are your hobbies? Like, where have you traveled? What was your most challenging experience in life? Like, where is the getting to know you questions that make us interested?
Will was had more personality two times in this episode. The first one is in the next scene where we see Will and Amy speaking Spanish, and they're talking about the Jeremy and Corey situation and how Florida is going to hurt Corey. And then Will talking to the guys about using the bathroom properly and cleaning up. And even in that case where he was talking about something as mundane as guys clean up the bathroom, Will came across as personable, sweet, just a mature person. So why wouldn't we not be able to see that in the relationship he's with, unless the relationship he's with is not showing that part of his personality?
Exactly. And we already said from the beginning that Queer was boring, and so I think that she makes him into this like a little mopey, little boring couple, smoochy, kiss, like cuddle, face mask. But also in that conversation, they were talking about like Isaiah goes, "I pee sitting down." Did you see the shade that Cinco threw him? Like, you pee sitting down. It's like, well, like, not here. I don't know the kid and like what it means for boys, like men, to sit down and be, like, I don't know.
Online, you know what the thing was online about that, so it was just like, oh, he's gay, and I'm like, listen, y'all think people ordering appetizers in a restaurant means that they're gay? I don't listen to y'all in these gaydars.
Well, this is the thing, though, is that I wouldn't be surprised if he's unsure of his sexuality. The same thing as the Connor thing, same thing as the Jeremy thing.
That's not what they're saying. So right now, somebody took a picture from his Instagram, and they had him with a guy, and the guy was like kind of Christian looking. He had blonde hair with like dusty ends, and then dusty black ends, and then he had his fingernails like painted black, and just like a black tank top on, and then they're like hugging like this, and so everybody's like, oh, I'm worried for Cash. And I'm like, why would this make you worried for Cash? Cash has already said that she's had her own experiences with women, and Cash has already said she believes love is like not a set finite thing. She thinks it's a spectrum for everybody. So if he's what you're saying is he's potentially at this point bisexual, because he hasn't said that he's gay, right? So at this point, if you're saying he's bisexual, I don't think that's going to be a problem for Cash or on the show, because Florida's already said she's bisexual. Cash has already said she's pansexual. Javonny's alluded to that he's had all sorts of sexual experience. That should be the point of the show. I know UK, they don't talk about that as much, right? Or they don't have those situations as much as the US has had so far, because I think the same thing happened in season 1, and then now in season 3. I don't think we had that type of character come in season 2, though, except for Noah, who got pulled because he didn't tell the truth about his background.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm curious to see if anything actually comes out, any truth. Like, I don't care either way, but we're reviewing the show, and so it's part of the storyline. Right. I loved when Will and Amy were speaking Spanish, talk gossiping in front of everybody. I was like, this is great.
More producers, more of that.
Right? More of that. More of seeing their personalities.
Will and Amy coupled up, I could see them winning the show.
I don't know if he's a Capricorn? Capricorn and Aquarius? Not great. They both still are ruled by the same planet, Saturn.
Yeah.
they could be okay, and she might have her Mercury might be in Capricorn, so they might have some sort of understandings, just because Mercury is either going to be Capricorn, like it's a sign that moves closely to your sun, so.
But him and so it would be the same thing with Cash and Javonny as Will and Kira, because Kira and Javonny are both Leos, and Will and Cache are both Capricorns. So
who's Will? Oh, Will. I thought Will was a Capricorn.
He is. Will is a Capricorn. Kira is a Leo.
I'm just saying that Will and Amy are going to be the best match because she's an Aquarius.
You're saying she would be the best match?
No, wouldn't be
the best.
No, would not be. But maybe because they have the same ruling planet, being Saturn, they may be able to connect a little bit better. But air and earth don't really go that great together.
So that's what I'm saying. So wouldn't it be similar with Kira and Will, because she's a
fire
Leo?
And earth is better, I would say, than air and earth, but not great.
Then yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because a lot of people want Cash to get with Javonny, and I'm just like, first of all, they don't match, and second of all, I just feel like they're friends. Now, if you want to take it a friendship couple till Casa Amor till the end, okay, but
they are friends. So you can. I know that you need to leave, so I can probably still finish up with the peoples.
Yeah.
The last thing that I'll say that I thought was funny, though, was they're calling Slade a sexy Billy Bob Thornton. I laughed out loud when they said that.
Oh, yeah, I laughed. I laughed so hard at that.
I'm like, oh, my God, yes. So Jeremy, he says that he's going to go for what he wants. So we know that Amy's out the door and Florinda is in. Olivia and Shannon have a conversation about Slade, and she wants to talk to him and get to know him. And then Slade gets a text, and the audience has been voting, and they voted for Amy to go with him on a date. So she's excited. She's going on a date with him. Slade knocks on the change room door and grabs Amy, and they're wearing little matching outfits. I'm sure that the producer is like, hey, do you have anything red? We wear something red. But she's wearing a little red dress. He's wearing a red top, and they looked nice together. They actually looked like a decent couple.
I thought they looked nice together. I thought they had the best conversation of his two dates, personally. I thought, just like they were talking about his little sister, his 4-year-old little sister, I just thought it had more depth, and that they had a little more chemistry, personally. What I found funny is Amy's like, she's off Jeremy, that her and Jeremy are not together anymore. I said, wait, when since you told Jeremy that you forgave him and everything was good, and y'all still wanted to get to know each other? I was like, when did that happen?
Amy just wants to be wanted, and she wants to appear to be available because these two people are better catches than most of the men in the villa right now. So I'm sure she's just like, Jeremy who? Like, if I'd known you guys were coming in, I would never have even bothered with Jeremy and been upset about him. That's when the Will's conversation happened, which was funny. I like the Cinco shade. And then Wes gets a text, and #Wes to impress. The audience votes for Cash to go on a date with Wes. And I was very happy about this. And Cash says in her confessional, thank you, America, for having my back. Yes, we got your back, Cash. We've got your back.
I didn't get to vote, but I'm happy with the vote.
Yes, me too. So Wes walks in, and we talked about it briefly, but he was just like taken aback of her in her pink outfit and her earrings, and like she looked great. She radiates happiness and joy, and he just was like, oh my goodness, when he came in. I was like, yes.
I'm going to give Trina some props to thank her for those earrings. They're beautiful. She's the one that gave Cash the earrings for the date.
Wow. Okay, Trina trying to make friends. All right, Trina. So Wes thought that they were gonna like get along, but she was really shocked by like the instant connection that he felt with Cash. I even love them sitting down and both love drinking tequila, and they're big drinkers, and like even that, like nothing big, but it seemed like they would be able to get along outside of the villa right away.
They vibe really good. They seem to have a lot of commonalities of what they're looking for in the future. Like I said, I feel like he was describing her when he was describing the person that he was looking for. And he, he complimented her beauty first, and he said, and not only that, just your depth. I really like what you were given. I saw sparks. I did.
I really like, he just was like looking at her and like, he's like, you're gorgeous. You're so gorgeous. You're so handsome too. Like, you're gorgeous and bubbly. And like, I like their interaction, and I like that he seemed surprised by how much they got along. And he didn't hide that. He didn't hide his like seeming attraction to her. And I love them
which
together.
Is why I don't think he's playing a game, because if he was playing the game, he would have said, oh, I wanted Cash from the beginning, but I wasn't sure. And now, I know for sure. Like he wasn't set on Cash. Like he knew she would have a good personality. He wasn't sure that what commonalities that they had. And then now that they've met, he said, I didn't only just see like that, she's a good girl and we vibe, but there was sparks, there was chemistry, and I saw the chemistry.
I mean, I really enjoyed their interaction. I don't know if I'm just seeing it because I really want them to work out together, and like they both are interested in each other. So like, I don't know if the sparks were actually there, if I'm making them up, but I want to be making it up for these two because like, I love the look of them together. I just like, I want it to work out really bad. So I hope I'm not getting Caleb or Jaleb vibe right now. I want them to be a match. So my fingers are crossed for them still.
Yeah.
So Slade and Amy are still chatting. That's when they talk about their Sissy's younger sister. They have a pretty good conversation. It seemed like it was a mature adult conversation. I liked it. But then he gets a text that he gets to go on another date. And the date is going to be with Javonny's girl, with Olivia. And Olivia is pretty excited about it. And she didn't even like, from what we saw, even say bye to Javonny when she goes to get ready for the date. Like, it was pretty awkward.
Well, Cash didn't say goodbye to Isaiah, so I think it's one of those cases where you've heard that people are like, oh, they rushed us out to go to this thing. I'm sure, but I was actually fine with the fact that Cash didn't say anything to Isaiah. I think if Isaiah wants Cash, I think he needs to be on his toes a little bit more and really put some actual effort into their relationship.
Yes, definitely. I love that Wes though wants to be in a power couple. I can see him being in a power couple with Miss Cash. I don't see him being in a power couple with Amy.
No. I see them being in a pretty couple.
Very
but
pretty.
I don't see them being. I don't feel Amy and him are power couple vibes, but I will say like their chemistry was there. Especially when they like went running in the rain. That was cute. So I thought both of his dates had chemistry. I felt Cash had more chemistry with him than Amy. But I can also see him choosing Amy because she was the person that he wanted to pick in the beginning. And I felt the opposite with Slade. I feel like he had great chemistry with Amy, but I didn't see anything with Olivia, and I want to see this episode that comes on tonight, what more conversations are had with Slade and Olivia and Amy and Wes and Wes with Cash, to see what more vibes comes out, because I wasn't seeing anything with him and Olivia.
I mean, that could upset the apple cart if Slade chooses Amy.
Yeah. Or well, Amy would have to choose. So the recoupling is yeah.
She won't choose him. Okay, but before you go, I want you to just tell me, because I'm going to finish up with this episode. I have a little bit more notes left. But I do want to know what you thought about the conversation that Isaiah had with Cash when she said, like, do you have anything else to say? I know you mentioned that it's in her right to be like putting them in the other person's situation and being like, hey, like, what would you do with you or me? Do you have anything else about that convo? Because I thought it was very...
I again, so just kind of like what I said at first, Isaiah saying he was not he was not shook. He was okay with it. He's been playing it off to Wes like, oh, we like the same girls. It's okay. He was shook, and I'm glad he was shook because again, we're not seeing in this entire episode where he is putting any effort into Cash at all. And so when he had that conversation, you could tell he was very insecure, and he would, I don't think he realized how wrong he was saying it because he basically was telling her, no, you have to focus on me. Otherwise, I'm going to go focus on Amy. And instead of what he should have said is, you have every right to get to know Wes. And either he needed to tell her right then and there, I'm going to continue to get to know Amy, or he should have said, I am going to focus on you and really mean it. I mean, he does say that if I want Cash, I'm going to have to show her, but I need to see it. So that's also what I want to see in this episode and tomorrow night's episode, to really see what he does. Because again, then I want Cash with Wes, because I don't feel like Isaiah is putting in the effort that he says he's putting in the effort. So far, we've seen Cash go after him, and now it's time for him to go after Cash if she's the one that he wants.
She's not. I don't think so. I mean, love her, I love her, but I don't think that that it's happening. I don't think so.
So yep. I'm headed out, but I will. I'll put on my YouTube. I'll be in the chat.
All right. Okay. We don't have that much left to go, but yes, you put on the YouTube and hang out. Thank you, Tamika.
Bye,
tomorrow. Bye. So just back to where we were in the episode. Yes, Wes wants a power couple, and I don't know if Amy has it, but if we're looking at astrologically, if he's a Gemini and she's an Aquarius, this is a problem for Cash because they're just going to have automatic chemistry and being able to have conversations that are going to be very, very easy. So a little bit worrisome, a little bit, teeny little bit. So Cash gets back to the villa. And before that, Amy comes back to the villa to tell the girls about her date with Slade and how she enjoyed it, and then gets a text that she's going to be also going on a date with Wes. And Olivia is going to be going on a date with Slade. And so, Olivia is looking for something serious, and I don't think that she sees something serious with Javonny, even though he showed some signs of vulnerability. She just doesn't see it with him, and I think it's because she doesn't want to see it with him. So when Cash comes back, she's so happy. She's on cloud 9, and she's, talking to all the girls, and she said she really likes him. And she's like, where's Amy? And they're like, oh, she also went on a date with Wes. And I would be so crushed if I was Cash. It's just being like, ugh, I don't want to be involved in another triangle. Like, I want to be able to choose the guy that I like. If Amy's going on a date with this guy now, she's going to have every right to get to know him, and he may be more interested in her. And she's more open because she's not with Jeremy at all. And she just coupled up with Isaiah. So I'm pretty sad that she's in another love triangle. She just can't get the guy that she wants. First off, it has to be like some fight for her to get the men that she's interested in. So the girls definitely would prefer Wes over Isaiah. So that's what I think is very interesting to take a note of, is that Isaiah is not winning over the girls in Cash's life either. So that's something to think of. And I was wondering where Trina was. I didn't see Trina very much this entire episode, which is interesting. Like, unless it has to do with Cash, people are not involved in the episode. We saw a little bit of Shannon, obviously, with the Corey Jeremy situation, but there's nobody, no other show is really taking place without Cash. Like, she's definitely involved in all the conversations and all the drama that's happening in the villa right now. So Florida tells Cash that Jeremy went in for a kiss, and Cash is shocked. She's like, oh my God, what? Like, she was quite shocked, especially the fact that Florida kissed him back. I mean, I don't know if I'd be excited about this, but this is who she wants, and she doesn't want to be with Corey. I just hope she just goes and tells Corey right away, like, break his heart already, so he doesn't have to be thinking that maybe there's a chance. So when Amy is talking to Wes, I definitely felt as though she's smitten. I do think that he thinks she's beautiful. I did feel that there was a little more excitement from him when he was talking to Cash, but it could be because she has like a familiarity that he vibes with. But with Amy, there was a little bit of intrigue and mystery that I felt that was between them. And she did say that she doesn't cook for everybody, but she would cook for him. So I thought that was a big point in showing that she wants to date him outside of the house or wants to take him to like a serious level with their relationship or whatnot. So I was impressed by this, though. I do feel that they have a pretty decent connection. I did find him to be more alive, we'll say, with Cash, but I'm not denying that there was something there between him and Amy. So when Olivia comes back from her date, she tells the girls that she's open to getting to know him and, you know, that he's really compatible with her values and what she's looking for in a partner, which is problematic for poor Javonny. And then when Amy comes back, she starts telling the girls about like how amazing her date is, and Cash is pretty much, I think she's right beside her. And then after Cash tells the same thing, that there was sparks. Oh wait, she really enjoyed their date and that it was like fun and she really, really liked him. And I think they even giggled after being like, oh my God, round 2, or like, oh my God, us again. Like we have to do this again. Ha ha ha. But it's kind of like, oh. So Wes, I don't know who he was talking to, but he said that there were some sparks with Cachet. And I like that he's admitting that there is a possibility that he could be choosing Cachet over Amy here, even though Amy was his first choice initially. I don't know what I wrote here. It's never just, Cash, poor thing. It's never just me in the ring. And that's something that I find that a lot of Black women that are interacting in kind of these multicultural environments where people claim to be into everybody, but really they have their preferred race, is that you end up being the second choice or second best, or if you're interested in somebody, they choose somebody else. I experienced that my entire life, and I grew up in predominantly white communities, and so I totally get where she comes from, because it's like I've had to be like, what? Like, you never told me that you're dating somebody else, and like it's always like I was the other woman, even though I never wanted to be, or like I was always like, you know, second choice. And so I totally get where Cash is hurt here, and it's just frustrating for her, because it's like she just wants someone to come in and want her without having eyes for anybody else, especially her best friends in the villa. So Cash, this is where Cash has that conversation with Isaiah, and Isaiah that she wants to get to know Wes, and that's a very fair thing for her to do. Like, he's getting to know her and Amy. Why can't she get to know Isaiah and Wes? Because like, what if Isaiah decides that he wants to pursue Amy more seriously? Like, so Cash just can't like get to know anybody else because like you're in a couple and you haven't made anything official. So I was pretty unimpressed with Isaiah here. I was just like, he was getting angry and like telling her what to do when he didn't really have any right to do so. So I was I was very irritated by him. So the nighttime portion, what happened here? Kissing the one we please. Oh, the toast of our handsome man Wes says, to kissing the one we please and pleasing the one we kiss. That's going on a t-shirt as well. Love Island quote t-shirt lines is what I'm going to do, I think. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that, if I make some Love Island quote t-shirts for the channel. Let me know. Close to lastly, we see Corey and Florida Chalk, and she's like, yeah, we did kiss, her and Jeremy. And, you know, obviously Corey's face just like went super sad. And she said that she's starting to really like him too. And this was just a shot to Corey's heart. And it would be, because like he's not had a lot of good luck in there. And as soon as he finds someone, now one of his guy friends is going to steal the girl after he's already had 2 chances with 2 women in the villa. It's not cool. So tomorrow's episode, as we talked about, it is going to be on Paramount Plus, and Tuesday they're going to be recoupling. So let's see if I can get some of your comments here. We got Charlene here. Did you see that Isaiah mentioned to Wes that him being from Harvard, like they were above them? Isaiah was from Harvard as well. No, I didn't see that. Where was that on the episode? I did not notice that. Isaiah feels as though Cash should be grateful. Yeah, it's like, excuse me? Like, so she just has to sit there and like, thanks for picking me. You do whatever you want. And if you want me, I'll be here. Like, get out of here, Isaiah. Just because she wasn't his first option. He's ridiculous. Yeah, I was pissed. Oh, just like, oh. I know. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Charlene. He would make beautiful babies with anybody. Absolutely. I would like them to be with me, even though he's so young, but he's a sign that matches. So maybe I'll make an exception. Do we know where he's from? I can't remember. So I feel the bombshell shouldn't watch the episodes because they get to game plan. I don't mind it just because sometimes they have to ask who they want to go see on a date. It allows them to accelerate the process a little bit. It depends on, I think it helps them to know the Islanders just a little bit so they're not completely coming in there blind, that they know who they're going to kind of go on a date with. And like, I think it just helps accelerate it a little bit faster and that there's a little bit more familiarity so that the dates aren't super wooden. That's my guess. But I can see your point as well. Yes, he looks hot. Yes, my soulmate. Is he? He's a little bit young, a lot young. I was 24, like in 2004 or 3, something like that. Ooh. So I'm voting for Cash and whoever Javonny, and whoever if he's still there. Yes, exactly. I'm voting for Cash and whoever, and voting for Javonny and whoever. 100%. Yes. Cash is here to stay, period. Yes, agreed. I love the scene where Cash is hanging out with the boys and getting her shape up. Yes, I think it was Javonny was fixing her fade. Well, she didn't really have a fade, but, I love that too. So CJ says Justine was never the first option. Exactly. It's really hurtful, but she was loved by America. Absolutely. Cash will be fine even if she doesn't win. I want Cash to win, though. Whoever Cash is with, I think, will win in the end. I don't think that there's anybody that's going to have a strong relationship that the audience wants to support as much as they want to support Cash. That's my vibe. Look at season 5 with Amber. She wasn't in a relationship that long with Greg, and she still won the show because she was so beloved. So I feel like it would be a similar thing. Whoever Cash is with, if Cash is happy, they are going to support that relationship, and she will win the show. At this point, there are no guys that she can have a relationship with outside. Just have fun. Yeah, I say have fun for sure. Hi, Keza. So Keza says, I don't like that they put Cash and Amy in weird situations. I know. Come on, they're good friends. Why two men would like them both? They'll make some drama. I don't like that. I know it's really frustrating, but they do have the best personalities in the villa, and they are the least in a strong coupling. So I think that it just makes sense that they would pick them. But it was America that chose these dates. So I'm wondering if maybe the first set of dates were chosen by America and the next ones were chosen by the producers just to make it a little bit more spicy. Yeah, Virgo Love did not see any chemistry with the Olivia date. Yes, I saw chemistry with both of them as well. Yeah, Amy did do the same thing to Trina with Jeremy. Exactly. Yeah, I do think that West is going to be a bit of a problem. They should have saved him for Casa Amor. I think they're still trying to get people into solid couples. Like maybe they have some other really good guys for Casa Amor. That would be interesting. So I haven't seen this interview yet, but I'm going to find, Kieran will live 15 minutes from each other. Wow. Javonny aren't genuine. Cinco, Trina, and Javonny aren't genuine. Wow. Okay, I'm going to go and watch that after I get off here today. Ms. Love is not feeling Shannon in these last few episodes, but I have to say, you always need at least a little bit of a messy person. Yes, she's providing a little bit of entertainment. She has nothing to do. She's intercoupling. There's nobody that's testing their relationship, so she wants to get a little bit of camera time, and it makes for some television. Tamika is here. Oh, getting compliments on your glasses. Nice. I should be wearing glasses right now, but I can't. I don't know where they are. I can barely read these comments. Silly me. Silly me. So I can't read what it says. Okay, I just want someone who is genuine with Cash. Exactly. She is beautiful and such a queen. I totally agree. I'm sorry I can't see what your name is properly because, as I said, I wasn't wearing glasses. And Isaiah is not from Harvard, my bad, but he does seem like you feel like he's above. Yeah, I'm not feeling Isaiah. He can go as long as he doesn't ruin Cash's chances. Ideally, that Wes would choose, or Cash would be able to choose Wes. Amy would just choose Isaiah. They can be in whatever that coupling is. Some new girls come in for Javonny and Corey potentially. One of them stays, hopefully Javonny. Olivia can go with her man Slade, and everybody will live happily ever after. And then we can dump Florida and Jeremy. That's my desired story here. Tamika, do you have anything to add before we shut her down here today? Thanks, everybody. Oh, so I think the name was Bella. Sorry, it looks like a completely different word before. Sorry, Bella. Thank you for joining us here in the chat. I'll wear contacts next time. It's just sometimes I get so lazy to put contacts in, you know? Oh, is this a comment from? This must be from Kayla. So, Trina and Cinco were just loved up in the corner. LOL. Cash is the main character. Agreed. You must be listening to Murad because he loves calling them the main character. She's the main character. Yes, she is. So this is all we have for you today. I'm definitely going to watch after the island interview with Alex and Elizabeth, see what Christian has to say there. We will watch, obviously, the episode tonight on Paramount Plus. And if I get it in the drop, I'll try and watch before tomorrow's recap. But we will be back live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern to talk about the drop, hopefully, and tonight's episode. So obviously, thank you so much, everybody that was here in the chat, including you, Tamika. Thanks for being here. I'm sure you have so already, but just subscribe. It's very helpful for the channel. Like the video. Leave a comment. Tell me who you think has more chemistry with Wes and Amy or Wes and Cash, and who would you prefer to be coupled up together? Do you want to see Isaiah and Cash and Wes and Amy, or do you want to see that reversed around, or do you want to see a completely different configuration? So let me know what you guys think here, and if you have nothing else to say tonight, we'll see ya tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. See you guys.